Okay, so I'm rereading Lolita for like the 1000th time and listening it to audiobook for the 2nd time. And every so often I come across these little bits of prose that have stuck with me just over the years, like poetic splinters under the fingernails that you forgot about, and one day you come across them and you realize it's still there, poking you. So it's got me thinking about all the books that have really affected me, not just the books I've read and enjoyed, but the books that gave me something and I took with them. So, here it is. I'm going to recount the books that meant something to me. First off, there's Harry Potter. I know it's kind of cliche, but it was the first book, not the first book I read, but the first book that I got something out of. After I read, well, what then was the series. It was only 3 books when I started it. But after I read it, I felt like the characters were my family, that they were very real to me. And I could take adventures out of it, and it would really affect me, and I'd sit there and think about them. Not just for the 300 or 400 pages that I was reading it, but even months later, after I finished the book, I would think about it. And when life became painfully dull, I felt like I could just put this film over it, and everything would be magical, and that it's so gay, but that I really could imagine myself out of any situation. So after I read that, I wanted to find more books like that, which led me to Freak the Mighty. That was an interesting book, I gotta tell you. The name will show. After I read Freak the Mighty, I wanted to know everything. Before that, I liked knowing things, but I didn't know things just to know them. After I read it, I would take knowledge just so I could have it. Little badges, I guess you could say. And I wanted to know everything about it. I wanted to know the scientific name for ants, which is Formicidae. I wanted to know what chemical it was in white fireworks that made them look white when they exploded. Magnesium. I wanted to know everything. So I read encyclopedias and desk references and dictionaries, and I could just feel it thriving within me, just this knowledge and this desire to continue knowing things. And I felt like that book really opened up things for me. So with that, I gained even more of an interest in reading, and I found Catcher in the Rye. I was kind of young when I read that. I think I was too young to really get anything out of it. But a year later, I read it again, and it did something. It's a little... Honestly, the book depressed the hell out of me. It's a little nihilistic in that the main character can't seem to find meaning in absolutely anything. But, even the end isn't happy, but you can really understand what he's going through. He has this fear of growing up and of losing his childishness. And it's funny because he uses all these grown-up, i.e. swear words, throughout this book, and he's dropping out of school, and he's doing all these bad things that good children wouldn't do. But then you see how much he cares about his sister and how much he cares about his brother who died, Alex, and he keeps the catcher's mitt, and all these wonderful things. And you realize that it's okay to not want to grow up all of a sudden. It's okay to want to hold on to that childish innocence, like Holden wanted to protect everyone around him. He wanted to keep all the goddamn phonies out, I guess, and he was afraid of becoming that. But it made me feel like I could loosen up, and I didn't have to grow up so quickly just because I was hitting my teenage years. So for a while after that, I didn't find anything to stick with me. I read a lot. I read Darkwater, The Passion, Fahrenheit 451, Ella Enchanted, The Hobbit, what else? To Kill a Mockingbird. I read a lot after that, and I liked the books I read, but I didn't find anything that stuck with me like these other books had. And then in 2004, I found Lolita. At the time, it was the smuttiest thing I'd ever read. Now, I know you're probably rolling your eyes. The book, honestly, it's about a man, an older man, really, who falls in love with his prepubescent stepdaughter, kidnaps her, and imprisons her in hotel from hotel. Kind of vile. It's a story about love and obsession and jealousy and vile human vice. But it's a good story. Really, the author, Nabokov, could make an eggplant seem sensual. He's so articulate, and his words are so eloquent. When I read it, I felt like an astronomer turned astronaut. I was just picking at stars, and I still feel like that to this day. It's so refined. It's funny. It's this horrible, disgusting, dirty novel, but you read it, and you really feel more refined. And the funny thing about it is, you spend the whole, 500 pages identifying with Humbert and understanding him and knowing what he's going through. And then you close the book and you're good. And 2 weeks later you think about it and you go, what the fuck? I just identified with an absolute monster for all of that? And the more you read it, the more you can pull out of it, and the more you learn to separate the psychoses from the man that has it. It's really a good book. I mean, I wanted to be a writer when I read it, and it just, Nabokov really sparks something within you, and his words and the way he uses them. He is a true artist, I gotta tell you. So, right now, I'm reading The Kashaya Legacy, which is basically about a prostitute who goes on adventures in otherworld France. I can't say what I will get out of the book, but right now, I can already feel it reawakening this sense of adventure and this curiosity about other cultures, which I've always had, but has been kind of, I guess, dormant for the past few years. I don't know where I'll go with it, but I really like the series. Anyway, that was a nice stroll down the memory lane of your public library. I figured I'd share that with you. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this vlog. I mean, it is a journal, so I feel like I should write my thoughts and my memories and my experiences, but at the same time, I feel like I should be a little more entertaining. So, expect some dumb, funny shit. Other than that,